Let me reset one of these goats right now. And let me start with this guy today.
Cablinasian, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know. Skin horribly bright, pasty white. Cablinasian, the friendly ghost.
I mean, even the BIC doesn't have his own song. Willie in KC never gave the BIC that kind of treatment. Sing it, Willie.
Cablinasian, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know. Skin horribly bright, pasty white. Cablinasian, the friendly ghost.
Shawnee the Cablinasian by way of H-Town. Check these numbers out. Check this for data. 11 Smackoffs, 5 titles, 2 runner-ups, and the only caller to ever three-peat. If you want to talk about a dynasty, look no further than his half-decade stretch from 03 to 07.
Take that for data.
In those 5 years, Shawnee ripped 4 straps and the silver medal. It was as dominant a stretch as we have ever seen on the program. Iafrady himself called Shawnee the Eldrick of the jungle, and he wasn't wrong. Basically, when Sean showed up, everybody else was just wasting their time. It was always Sean or the field, and Sean would take it. History matters around here. So with that in mind, check out a baby-faced Van Smack bringing on Sean for his first Smackoff 22 years ago in 1998.
1998, 4th annual Smackoff. Gotta keep this thing moving along. Biggest day of the year in the jungle. Hope you're keeping score at home. Hope you took the day off. All right, let's go to it. We go to the Cablinasian. Sean in Houston.
Rome, it is a privilege to be included in the biggest radio extravaganza of the year. Now, you know, Rome, in my time as a jungle dweller, it's like going to school. I've learned a lot. I mean, just in the last year, I've learned things like all Utah callers have the personality of a dish rag. I've learned that there is a part of me that really does want to eat the other half of the sandwich. And I've learned that John Candy is alive and well and living in Youngstown under the alias J in Y-Town. Now, here in H-Town, Jim, smack has basically become our third professional sport. And the only downside as a smack runner that I see to it, the paychecks aren't quite as nice as, say, baseball or basketball. I mean, I've called this show dozens of times in the last year, and I have yet to get a W-2 from Premier Radio, and I have yet to find a 1040 form that has a place for me to claim Metrex nutrition packs and cartons of Aura Blast or DirecTV T-shirts as compensation.
That is insane. Like, none of that makes any sense to anybody listening right now. None of those references make any sense to anybody listening right now. How about that audio from 1998? How about a hyped-up, baby-faced Van Smack going right to Shawnee the Cablinasian? Smackoff number 4. That is amazing. None of that. Did any of that make any sense to anybody not named me? But it doesn't matter. I love the Metrex blast. The point is, this guy has tape going back almost to the very beginning. And 1 year after that debut call, he was back to rip the first of 5 titles.
In this topsy-turvy world where the president can treat an intern like a blow-up doll while he's got Boris Yeltsin on speakerphone and still keep his job, where a team will guarantee Tony Martin a 6-figure salary even if he goes to prison, there are 2 constants that I know, Jim. One, the only way that Shaq gets his name on both sides of the forum is with a can of spray paint and a ladder. And 2, I know that from 11 to 3 Central Time every day, I'm going to be entertained. The influence of your show, frankly, Jim's been felt not only in your time slot, quite honestly, it's spilled over into the others. I mean, before your show came on down here, Jim, the typical call to the local afternoon show went something like, yeah, Kenny, first-time caller. I was wondering if Mike Hampton is a lefty or a righty, and I'll hang up and listen. Now, Jim, thanks to the jungle, the typical call to the local afternoon show goes something like, yeah, Kenny, first-time caller. I was wondering if Mike Hampton is lefty or righty, and I'll hang up and listen. I'm out. Yeah, major improvement, Jim. The next really get it down here.
Shawnee, a trailblazer. And at that time, he was so much better than the rest. So much better than the rest that he forced everybody else to elevate their game. I always ask you to make the show better. Sean did. And from that point on, he started to stack Smackoffs. He won 4 more. He rode off into the sunset on the heels of the jungle's only 3-peat. There's leaving as a champ, leaving a champ, and then leaving a back-to-back-to-back champ. That's what Sean did. Never to be heard from ever again. Or so we thought, because after 11 years, Sean reappeared on Stevie Carbone's call back in 2018 out of nowhere.
Since when did you need a SAG card to construct a Smackoff call? Back when I was winning this thing, all I did was roll out of bed, pop a few Adderall, and jot some bullet points down on a piece of paper. Now apparently you have to arrange the family reunion to win this thing. Damn, Left. There's easier ways to win $5,000 or make $5,000. Donate a kidney. Hold up a convenience store. Insurance fraud. Something. And Brad and Corona, hey, man, I'm looking at this list, and I see you've won 3 of these, I guess, which means 2 more Smackoff wins, and maybe you, too, can be the Kendrick Perkins to Jim's LeBron James on the CBS Sports Radio Network, 6 to 10 Eastern Time, Sundays, clones. Tune in. Hey, Jim, just use my address in the CBS Sports Radio directory. You can send me my retroactive $25K there. Do the math, clones. 5 times. Love you, Jimmy. Out.
Make no mistake, that was the holy bleep moment of Smackoff 24. Not only did it help Stevie Carbone come in second place, but it ushered in the full-on return of the Cablinasian for Smackoff 25 last year. The first Smackoff in Jungle history that would feature both Brad and Sean. So Smackoff 25 goes Brad's way, moves him into a tie for most wins all time with Shawnee. But Shawnee taking 4th place after 12 years away was impressive. And now he has already said that he will be back next Friday. Frankly, I cannot freaking wait for more of this.
The champ is here. Take. There's no magic formula. Somehow I think most of you think that the more you call the show, the better you get. Let me end the suspense right here. That's not the case. You're either wired to win this thing or you're not. Bobby in Brooklyn. Where I come from, Bobo, we have a word for someone in New York City who speaks good English, okay? A visitor.
Who's the best-looking Van Gundy brother? By the way, if your brother looks like Ron Jeremy and you're considered the ugly one, maybe time to get that face transplant, Jeff. What happens to air traffic when Barry Bonds and Peter King happen to be in the same city? Does air travel just shut down there altogether?
Skip Bayless and that new feathered haircut. Holy flock of seagulls. Nice lettuce skipper. Masters champ Phil Mickelson, who took the timeless art of slump busting to a whole new level when he bypassed hopping on a heavy-set gnarly babe and decided to go ahead, grow a rack, and actually become one himself.
Otis, my man, you're a pretty good caller already, but I got to tell you, when you finally learn to speak English, dude, you're going to be unstoppable. Willie and KC, you make Clay Aiken look like Vin Diesel, dude. I took a torch that was passed by my predecessors, names like Ditola and Iafredi and Ditola and Iafredi. What the hell is Eustacia going to be able to teach NBA players, right? All he did was get drunk and lick a few co-eds. The average NBA player was doing that at like age 3. Just like to shout out to all you tennis fans who are pissed because Anna Kournikova had to withdraw from Wimbledon because of a back injury this week. Look, the woman spends an inordinate amount of time on her back, okay? This was bound to happen sooner or later. Get over it.
My favorite part, though, Jim, about the XFL was all those commercials, where they try to build the league around their so-called stars, those extreme in-your-face type commercials, Tommy Maddox. I can't wait to see McMahon start his own basketball league, Bobby Hurley.
I hate people who say that Brian Cashman has the hardest job in sports. People think his job is hard because he looks like he has 2 chocolate-covered donuts around his eyes and because he has this perpetual look on his face like he just saw CeCe Sabathia getting out of the shower. I mean, Cashman's job is more unbearable than having to sit next to Digger Phelps for 2 hours a night. Reese Davis would probably beg to differ.
I got to read the article about Jay Stu in the Daily News this morning. I wanted to point out my favorite quote. It's amazing how little my college education has to do with this. Stu, you went to Fullerton. Of course your college education has little to do with your job. There's no spatula involved.
The Jungle. It's fantastic. I love this game.
What, you thought that guy could just fluke his way to 5 rings? 5 straps? Of course he's that good. You just forgot how good he was because he was gone for so long. But he's back. And he's back to get what was rightfully his. He wants his retroactive pay. Back when he was stacking them, what were we giving away? I don't even remember, like packages of nothing. Sunflower seeds. Planet of the Apes DVDs. I mean, for real. PB Blaster. Bang. Cologne. Now you get $5,000.